Welcome to Comic Shop Team Up. I'm your host, Anthony Desiato, joined as always by the owner of Fat Moose Comics in Whippany, New Jersey, Shawn Hendricks. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, pal, how's it going? That's a catchy. That's Basic Printer did that?
Basic Printer.
Yeah, that's
Woohoo.
catchy.
Awesome. Basic Printer contributed a lot of music to the final cut of My Comic Shop Country, and I've been using their stuff for pretty much all of my podcasts this year. So yeah, huge shout out to Basic Printer.
I want to make that my ringtone.
Yeah, it's good. It's the latest. Yeah, anyone who wants more information about Basic Printer, there's the link in the description for this YouTube video. I encourage you to check them out. Their latest album is called Fantastic Wrist, and that's where all of this music has been coming from. So really cool. And the main guy there has just been so supportive, so generous with music. And as you well know, as a musician yourself, I mean, it really can add a lot
I used
to
to
a
be a
project.
musician.
You still are. You still are, my
No,
friend.
I actually have some gigs coming up, and I part of me wishes I had said no to them because I'm so tired as it is, and now I have to learn a bunch of songs and drive to the gig, pack up the gear, and perform, and then get home at God knows what time. And I mean, I love playing music. I love performing. I love recording. I love doing that. It's everything else sucks. Booking gigs, dealing with people, dealing with management, dealing with bar owners, driving to the bar, carrying everything in and out. That sucks. Not recommended. The actual performance, that's what makes it all worthwhile. So I do have a couple gigs coming up, and I just have to get my calluses back because I've gone soft in the current. I don't want to use the P word, the P-demic word, because doesn't that screw up the video in some way? Like, well, you're not monetizing this anyway, right?
Well, no, not at the moment. But why? Wait, why would that
Wait,
screw
you
it
do
up?
have ads though, don't you?
So that's a good
How do
question.
you get ads? How do
Okay.
you do that? I
Okay.
want ads.
this we did not talk ahead of time about what we were going to discuss. So
Well,
here,
not at all, obviously.
all right, I'll break it down. This is actually, I think, for me, this is interesting. I don't know for our viewers if this will be of any interest, but on
I'm scared
YouTube
about that.
itself, like when you're on YouTube and you're watching a video and an ad plays, right?
Mhm.
Either, at the beginning and or in the middle, whatever. Sometimes you can skip after 5 seconds. Other times you have to watch the whole thing. In order to even have access to that, to the ability to have ads like that in your YouTube video, you have to be a YouTube partner. And in order to be a YouTube partner, you need at least 1,000 subscribers to your channel. There's also, I believe, a requirement of how many hours your channel's been watched or how many hours your videos have been watched, something like that. But just as a threshold matter, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, which I do not have at the moment. I'm happy to say that my number of subscribers has grown significantly since I started doing video podcasts. So I appreciate everyone who's
Hey,
joined the YouTube.
you're welcome. No,
That's right.
I'm just kidding.
No, but so it's growing, but I'm not at the point yet where I'm able to actually have those, embedded ads in my YouTube videos. Now, when you are listening or watching to my other podcast series, My Comic Shop History, My Comic Shop Book Club, Digging for Kryptonite, yes, you will hear or see commercials there's a family of film festivals, and then there's also a comic shop. Those are sponsors, and I'm very grateful for them. That actually comes through my Patreon page. So one of the reward tiers is a sponsorship package. So it's funny because I know, I'm always encouraging people to join the Patreon. And if anyone is interested, patreon.com/Anthony Desiato. There's a ton of extra content and it helps me be able to do all this stuff. And it's always funny because I'm like, well, when I tell people join the Patreon, they might be like, well, why? Like, this guy's got sponsors. The sponsors are through the Patreon. But I'm so happy to be able to have them. And so that's where those commercials come from. And that's a little peek behind the curtain.
Oh, a little inside baseball.
A little bit, yeah. So, but
So
anyway, yeah.
here, I know the last episode we talked about the stairway. So I figured what better location than, and you can't really get a full glimpse of it. I'm not going to wiggle the iPad around and give everybody vertigo and nausea. But yeah, we are at the bottom of the stairs with
Are you
the little glowing dots. And,
are you comfortable? Are you comfortable sitting down there?
oh
Is that
yeah,
all
I
right?
got a
Yeah.
chair. Yeah, I got a beverage. That's all good.
All right. On that note,
Oh boy,
we're doing coffee this time. Well, that's
coffee.
right, because you're
That
at.
is not.
That's not
All
okay.
right.
Okay. Or what? Well,
That is not coffee.
What is
It's
it?
definitely not vodka and Red Bull. I swear to God, definitely
Okay.
not. Hmm.
From the Quick Check.
You have my word. Oh, Quick Check. I have made Quick Check. I steal from them. I go there, almost every other day to get snacks, to get this or that, to get Gatorades, and I just when Matt owned the store, he used to order bags, and sometimes we'd run out, plastic shopping bags. I just take the entirety of the bags from Quick Check. I go to the self checkout, and I'll put everything in one bag, and then I will just grip the whole thing and pull it with me, and then run over and grab some cups and straws and forks and knives and salt and pepper and whatever. I mean, I give Quick Check enough money. I feel fully within my rights to just hijack the place and take all the bags I can. So I've got a stockpile of plastic bags upstairs that because at any moment they could stop having those bags or start charging for bags. I know some Quick Checks are doing that. So in the meantime, I'm like a prepper. What do they call those? Disaster preppers, where they stockpile food and stuff. I'm just stockpiling Quick Check bags.
All right. Well, and you gave them a free plug here. It's so funny because I used to hear commercials on the radio for Quick Check all the time. We don't have any around where I live, as far as I know. And I was always like, what? I thought it was like a check cashing place initially. But I get the idea of like you check out quickly, right? Like that's the thing. But the Quick Check, I don't know. It always threw me off. It always, and I don't know why, but it always conjured something different in my mind than it was like a 7-Eleven sort of thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
you've never been to a Quick Check. Seriously?
No, I've passed one when I've gone to see you, but I've never gone in.
Well, yeah, I've got two within like spitting distance. So when you do come to visit and we do our little like ride along, I'm gonna take you to a Quick Check.
All right. You're really,
and we'll steal all the bags.
every time we talk, you always bring up this ride along that we talked about. I feel like you're really going to hold me to this. I know I'm going, but it'll be fun. I do look forward to it. I had never been to a Wawa until I started going to Jersey with my wife. That's where she's from. And then I was introduced South Jersey. And that's when I was introduced to the world of the Wawa. So yeah, little by little, broadening my horizons when it comes to convenience stores. That's a perfect time to announce my latest podcast series. It's my convenience shop history.
That would be so awesome.
But
today we're going to, they just opened not a Wawa near here, something else. I forget. There's so many different little ones, but I had a 7-Eleven near my house, and that's where I would always go. And then they redid the Quick Check, and it was better. So I kind of abandoned the 7-Eleven for the Quick Check. Sorry, 7-Eleven.
All right. So before my ice
this
melts,
is very important.
Before my ice melts, I want to talk about how much whiskey you and I received for our birthdays. One of the little samplers that I got from my wife, and I want to go through everything. Well, not every individual one, but I want to talk about this more in depth. But I just want to ask you, are you familiar with this brand by any chance?
What is that supposed to say? Squirrel?
Squirrel. Yeah. Which,
okay.
Kudos to my wife, because could there be a more appropriate whiskey to try for Flat Squirrel Productions? I had never heard of this.
Now, is that a Scotch or a bourbon?
It's peanut butter whiskey.
Yeah, you lost me.
So we're gonna do this live now. Well, I mean, we're not broadcasting live, but I've not tasted this yet. But I have it poured here. 2 ice cubes, as you and I do. 2, right?
2, as gentlemen do.
All right, so cheers, my friend.
Oh, here, cheers. This is.
I'm going to
peanut butter whiskey.
I'm going to save the bottle because the bottle's cool and it ties in with Flat Squirrel. I don't know that I would get it. I don't know that I would get a bottle of this. This is just it's like a caramel sort of flavor to it. Right. It's not what I would typically look for in a whiskey.
Yeah, Nicole bought me a bottle years ago of I think it was Maker's Mark, but it was maple flavored. It's just too sweet. Like, even I'm a Wild Turkey guy. Even the Wild Turkey honey, I forget what it's called, but it's made with honey. Too sweet.
Oh, are you a Wild? Are you a Wild Turkey guy? You don't say.
How are you doing that? Look at you. You're a wizard.
This is why I need people to join my Patreon. I got to look at the features. Look at these features that you have here. Look,
This is great.
You watch a
Man.
lot of video podcasts. You don't get stuff like this. That's why I need a Patreon. Patreon.com/Anthony Desiato, please. So we can keep wowing Shawn like this. So this is what
amazing.
So this is what your customers gifted you
That's
for
not
your
even
birthday.
all of it.
No.
That's not even all of it, to be honest. But yeah, it's I'll be dead soon.
Well, pace yourself, just pace yourself.
Oh no, I do. I've been pacing myself. I brought one or two of those home. I don't like to drink bourbon at the store so much. We do our Wednesday night salute, but other than that, I don't really drink at the store. So I've been slowly bringing each one home as I, destroy the ones before it. But yeah, they're my people. They know what I like, and they came through in spades.
Yeah, it's funny because I only started keeping whiskey on hand over this past year. It really kind of started just about a year ago. Once lockdown really kicked in, and for my last birthday, of course, we couldn't go out and celebrate like we might. And so I ordered from a shop that's owned by a former customer of Alternate Realities, and he delivered, and we stocked up, and I've kept stuff on hand. I still would not describe myself as a big drinker, but it's funny because for anyone who's listening or watching, if anyone's following all of the podcasts, and most of them now, I have something, but it's mostly your fault because once you started drinking once you started drinking during episodes, everyone else wanted to as well. So except those who don't drink, like generally, almost everyone now has brought something to these episodes.
Listen, I promise that at your intervention, I will read a very heartfelt letter, like, oh, dear Anthony, I'm so sorry I got you down this path.
No, but if anyone noticed, that's why I always have water with me. We balance it out. Now, this is what my lovely wife, she got me a wonderful assortment of whiskeys, these little samplers that I could try. So that's what I got for my birthday. So, I don't know, compared to those huge bottles of yours, but
well, I have a constitution. So what do we see? I see Gentleman Jack. That's always good. Knob Creek is delicious. Is that Woodford Reserve on the end there?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's also good. Yeah, look at you.
There's Johnny Walker, and this was very cool. Like she got a lot of the the variants, in comic book terms, like the special versions.
Wait, this is a show about comic books? Since when?
Well, officially. But what was great about it is that I'm not the whiskey connoisseur that you are. So it's like when I go into the liquor store to grab something, it's like, and I don't always know what to get. I base it on if there's something that I've tried and I know I like it, or if I've read reviews and I'm taking a little bit of a leap there. But it can be hard, and you don't want to commit to a whole bottle of something that you end up hating. So this was great to be able to try.
No, that's exactly the right idea. Get the small bottle, try it out, and if you dig it, get the bigger bottle.
Yeah.
How has this become our entire conversations every week? My bourbon history.
Yeah, Babblin Bourbon. That's what I called in my. I put up a Facebook post, and I jokingly teased a forthcoming podcast called Babblin Bourbon. But there was a lot of. I feel like people were into it, so you never know. But in a way, that's what this is, I guess.
Did you see the picture I put up yesterday of my Wild Turkey ephemera collection?
Yes.
There's like vintage decanters and shot glasses and flasks, and I have a Wild Turkey flag, and I bought one of the actual barrel tops from a Wild Turkey barrel, and it's got the emblem and the logo etched into it, like charred into it. The thing weighs 14.5 pounds. So I don't know where to hang it. I have to find an actual stud because you don't want to just put that into the drywall.
No.
So right now it's just kind of leaning against the wall until I figure out how I'm going to do that without wrecking something.
I'm not handy. I'm not handy at all, and even I know you got to try to find a stud for something that heavy.
Yeah. Totally different conversation. But yeah. I at this point, seriously, screw Matthew McConaughey. I know he's famous, but he's the spokesman for Wild Turkey. No. Right here, it should be me.
You're the guy. Philtastic Phil, who does the artwork
Phil.
for this podcast. And I actually want to give a shout out. So Philtastic Comics and Art is his YouTube show. Or actually that's his YouTube channel. And then he's been doing a show there. So when you're done with this episode, check out Philtastic Comics and Art. And
Absolutely.
he suggested, he's like, you guys got to get Wild Turkey as a sponsor for Comic Shop Team Up. And, at first I was like, haha, but then I was like, yeah, but he's right. It's like, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. I feel like there's some potential.
I actually, years ago, made a short video of me tapping on a pint of Wild Turkey, because if you tilt it, it changes the timbre of the sound. And I basically did a little song on a bottle of turkey. And I just posted it on my YouTube channel, I believe. And a few weeks later, showed up on the Wild Turkey Facebook page. I didn't post it. I didn't know I could post it. And somebody did. And for every comment of like, oh, that's so cool, that's so great, there were comments like, you dumbass, just drink it, what are you doing? Of course, it's the internet. So there's always going to be, negativity. But I turned up on the Wild Turkey page. It felt like an honor. I was so happy. It's the little things in life,
As well, you should be. We're almost at the 20-minute mark. We got to wrap this up. I feel like we just started.
All right.
But
so I guess we have to go a whole week before we speak again.
Yes.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we might need to retire that shtick. I don't know if people, we might wear on people. I mean, look, I'm wearing a different Superman hoodie. You have a different background. I think it's clear to people we record about a month's worth of these episodes in one shot and release them weekly. So this is the first time that we are recording or even speaking since the first 4 episodes of Comic Shop Team Up aired. And I want to thank everyone, really. I know I joked in one of the earlier episodes, we went viral, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't the case. But now that I know the actual results, I do want to thank everyone who's checked it out. What, if any, reaction have you gotten from your customers?
They like it, man. I mean, they get enough of me as it is in any given week, But generally, like, they're supportive. They tune in, they check it out, they come in and talk about it. And a few of them that I've mentioned by name or was like, oh, you said my name. That's so cool. So next episode, I'm going to have a list of 130 names. I'm just going to read them out, a litany of my customers. But yeah, it's fun, man. I love talking to you. So it's just somebody actually literally today said something about this whole thing we're doing. They're like, oh man, you and Anthony have a great rapport. It's just a natural conversation. We're obviously very different people. And hey, speaking of, what? I'm looking at your face there. What's going on with what's all this? What's with the facial hair? Is this are you working on that, or is you just lazy?
That's lazy. I mean, I usually have something going on out of laziness. I actually, I would have to do the math on this. I don't know how many years it's been, but I've been using an electric razor now for the past, I want to say like maybe 5 years. Has it been that long? I so rarely use an actual blade, but I did it like a week ago, maybe a week, less than a week, just out of boredom, I guess. But so since I use the electric razor, so I almost always have some stubble because you can't get, you can't get it that close.
But it looks thicker.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because I use the blade and now it's coming. I don't know. What can I tell you? But yeah,
Go for it, man.
I'm
telling you, once you grow like an actual beard, I mean, I just trimmed mine last night because it was getting a little hobo looking, but it makes life so easy. No more like shaving under your nose and under your lip. Oh, it's such a pain in the ass. In my early 20s, I grew out what is erroneously called a goatee. No, I had a Van Dyke. But then at a certain point, I was like, all right, every time you shaved, it's like if you go too close, now it's crooked. So I just went full beard, and I've never looked back. About once a year, I'll shave it off completely, to my chagrin, and I know it's a bad idea. And I come out of the bathroom clean shaven, and Nicole goes, "Oh, dude, why?" And I know, it'll grow back, but you should try and go let it go because you're working from home, right? Does your job have any requirements as far as that goes, where you're not allowed to?
Oh, hey, no, there's nothing like that. I mean, I do a lot of Zooms with students and stuff like that, but not that I could have facial hair. I've tried, and I always hit a wall where I just can't, like it itches, and I know, and it's one of those things where I know it's like if I just like get over that hump, then I'll be okay. But I can never go that far.
Dude, do it. Do it.
But on the note of birthday presents and my job, I did post this on Facebook on my personal page, but I got an anonymous package in the mail on my birthday. I think it was an Amazon thing, but not something that we had ordered. And it was a travel mug. And it said, "You'll never find better coworkers than us. We'll miss you. We'll really miss you." And
I saw that post. What? Is that a threat? Like, what was that?
I know. So what it turned out to be was that was a gift from my coworkers, but they either the image online was inaccurate, or they didn't read it closely, or they couldn't see the small print. I don't know. Because the "you'll never find coworkers like us," that was like the big message. And I guess they thought that was funny. And then the smaller text underneath said, "We'll miss you. We'll really miss you." So either they overlooked that or the image was inaccurate. But it was a gift from my coworkers. And you know what it was? I think they didn't realize it said, "We will miss you." They just thought it said, "We miss you," because of the pandemic. We haven't been in the office together. Well, but yeah,
the even smaller text said, "Watch your back."
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I got it and I'm like, all right, maybe I was like, either this is a sign, this might be a sign, maybe it's time to.
So, you see the laser sight, hitting you in the chest and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. But the other thought that went through my mind, and I know you appreciate this as a fellow Office fan, when Michael hits Meredith with his car at the start of season 4 and Dwight goes like, "You can tell me, is this downsizing?" That was my thought. I'm like, is this the school's way of telling me that they're shrinking our department here? But yeah, it was funny. And I assumed it was from them, but again, it was anonymous. There was no note. So I just posted the photo. And then very shortly thereafter, they texted me and they were like, "Oh, sorry about that." But I thought it was hilarious.
Anonymous package. That was my porn name in 78.
Well, on that note, I think that'll do it for us this week.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
I got to tell you, this is the thing. This is the hard part about this show is that and we are going to keep talking, but people have to wait another week to hear it. It's like we could easily, I mean, this is a challenge now to like cut this off at 20 plus minutes, but I want to keep these episodes within that duration. So hopefully people enjoyed our discussion of what the hell did we even talk about? A lot about whiskey as usual. Birthday presents, YouTube monetization practices, quick check. That's a solid. That's pretty solid. Beards, yeah. And we got to see, for some comic shop talk, we got to see the staircase there that we talked about in the last episode, which is awesome and makes a very cool backdrop for this episode here. So thank you for showing, show don't tell. We talked about it last time, and now we showed it.
There you go.
All right. So Shawn and I will be back in 1 week for another edition of Comic Shop Team Up. And until then, don't call on a Wednesday.